Are you ready for some disc golf? Welcome everyone to OTB TV coverage of the World Championships. That's right, the PDGA Pro World Championships presented by Grip 6 from Ogden, Utah. I'm Greggy Biscuits.
And I'm Zoe AnDyke. Thanks for having me join you for this final FPO chase card coverage. I'm super excited. Final day at the fort. Really tough course, but we're at the World Championships. Yeah.
The energy was just amazing, and it really came to a crescendo here on day 5. People were happy, having a good time. Shout out to the volunteers. Shout out to UDisc for the stats we've been using all week. Couldn't have done it without them. GK Pro for our drone flyovers. Zoe, we're entering day 5, and only 6 players in the FPO field are under par for the tournament. Can you tell us about these 2 tracks that they've been playing for the World Championship?
Yeah, well, we're going to be watching the fort today, so I'll start by talking about the Mulligan's golf course. Definitely heavily water and OB drawn on painted lines course. So players at that course, it was all about the control off of the tee to keep it in bounds and then making putts. Both were key in order to maintain par or even getting under par. And then at the fort, every single player, of course, created an attack plan during their practice round, but could they execute off the tee and could they close the deal on the green? The fort has so many trees that it can take a player off of their practice plan just in a moment. And at that point, the player staying strong enough to get themselves back on the fairway and back to their practice plan notes was really what the whole key of the tournament was about. Now here we are on day 5, and it's all about being as aggressive as possible. Here we have Alexis leading off the card. She's taking the right side gap. There's a tree that you have to pick the right or left side, and that is going to put her in great position for a birdie. Excellent first drive start there for Alexis. Ella, on the other hand, chooses a slower speed in the left-hand side gap. Didn't quite get the turn on it that she was looking for, but definitely landing safe, as you can see there. Might not be a bid for a putt, but she is safe from the out of bounds. And Third up, we've got Missy Gannon.
Yeah.
Boom.
Players have to watch out for a little bit of fluffy foliage there on the left side if you play that ante line. And then you can also get pinched off on the right if you push too far right and turn your shot towards the right side over.
Missy landing safe there, I believe, with an open putt as well for a birdie. Rounding out the card, we've got Vanessa Van Dyken. We've seen her have some strong performances this year, and she is looking to be aggressive. And wow, starting off strong.
Great shot there.
Beautiful drive.
It's a circle one hit for Vanessa off the tee.
As you can see there, Ella had to stretch out. She was definitely a little obstructed, but got it up there safely. And just a little bit high of a bid there for Alexis. Ella will be lining up her par putt here.
Coming in 10th place. Oh, she needs that par, and she gets it. Nice putt there for Hansen.
Vanessa for the birdie.
This would set the tone early for Van Dyken.
Awesome.
Ooh.
We love to see that kind of a start. That is going to give the player the confidence they need after hole 1 to continue to attack in these earlier holes. Not that they're easy, but they ease you into the more difficult holes at the fort. And here we have Missy for her birdie attempt.
We've seen a lot of spit outs left and right at both courses. So the basket's really demanding a strong putt with confidence, and Missy gets hers in there. A little low left, but it counts.
Yep, count her in.
That's a 2.
And a couple of birdies and a couple of pars for our first hole FPO chase card. Not too bad to get started. And we'll have Greg talk about the hole here, but as I just mentioned, holes 1, 2, and 3 are definitely holes that are easing you into the fort. So players want to be strong to card those early even or birdie strokes.
No time for nerves here at the fort. Hole 2 played as the second easiest hole. almost a quarter stroke under par, 201 feet, water carry up to this landing zone. Again, this little area around the basket is smaller than circle 1, so it requires an accurate shot. And then you don't want to go too long because when you reach the road, you're OB.
Missy leading off strong, keeping it high enough, and oh yeah, jump over the log into the beautiful mulch. Let's watch this replay. Dialed and ready to roll.
Style points for the skip.
Awesome. Wow. Look at that. Confidence is so key here at the fort. Let's see how Vanessa can answer to that drive.
Lines hers up, pushing it a little left, catches those trees. She'll have an upshot from there. For Alexis to power this through.
Right through the middle, just coming up a little short, but staying safe out of the water. She's just going to have a little bit of an uphill putt.
Here comes Ella. Rips it. Also
same
a little low.
There.
All three players get the green flag from the spotter.
And this is well into or just on the edge of circle 2. So Vanessa definitely kind of trying to give it a little half bid, but playing it safe and smart to walk away with a par. That is a smart play for her. Same thing exactly there for Ella. If a player puts that one up too aggressively, they could be testing the out of bounds deep. So
absolutely. And
Alexis did actually give that a bid, but stays just safe. And now she's got a tester.
Bang.
Makes it.
That's a great putt from Alexis. Again, setting the tone early, confidence with the putter. Would have loved to have a 2 attempt there, but she's happy walking away with her par. Missy for her birdie attempt.
You can see her kind of thinking about marking that putter. Gives her a tiny bit of a stance with that log, but it's no problem. Missy's got that. She's smiling. Second birdie in a row to start her final round.
Heavy vegetation and low elevation keep the greens mostly calm here at the fort, but this is one of the more exposed of those greens. You saw it affect those upshots a little bit. And we're off to hole 3.
Yeah.
Again, a gettable hole here, Zoe. Played as the easiest hole here on day 3. 57% birdie rate with 0 cards scored over par. So great shooting from the FPO field across the board.
And that's pretty awesome. I'm glad you brought that stat up. From round 1 here for the FPOs all the way to this final round, I believe that birdie percentage went way up. Players figured out their hole, figured out their attack, and became more and more aggressive on hole 3 here. Pretty impressive that it became the easiest hole on the course. Missy in pretty decent position there, even though she got a late tree kick there. She's still within circle 2's boundaries. Vanessa hanging it out right for the hyzer and looking for a little bit of skip and ground action, and she gets it.
Off of the pole there for Vanessa, taking the right side hyzer line. This became a popular route throughout the week, and Vanessa just skewers it.
Awesome. Look at that replay. So cool. Drawing metal off the tee always feels fantastic.
And Van Dyken is off to a hot start, assuming she'll get her second birdie the first 3 holes.
And a great drive there for Alexis. A little wide right, but she is inside of the circle. Rounding out our card here, Ella Hansen looking to get in her groove. Ooh. Plenty of power on that one. She is definitely wanting that birdie. Let's take a look at this replay. This is one of Ella's putters, one of the oldest discs in her bag, and she puts the right amount of action on it, right amount of height, squeezes through those trees, and she's parked.
Threads the needle for a bullseye hit. Wow, Ella and Vanessa parked, and Missy, this is definitely in her range.
Whoa! For the turkey. What a start for Missy Gannon. I would say that is on fire.
That is
turkey
right.
Start. Wow.
3 birdies in a row for Missy. She's feeling
Oh,
good.
no. Just a little chain out to the right-hand side there for Alexis. Tap-in birdie there for Ella. And we haven't even seen Vanessa putt yet, so the par putt there for Alexis first as Vanessa walks up with a lot of confidence. Yeah, she's parked.
Nice starts for Van Dyken and for Gannon here. Let's see if they can keep the momentum rolling here on day 5 at the Fort.
So important. Going into the first 2 most atrocious holes, really. I mean, really tough disc golf. As you can see from the GK flyover here, this is a really narrow fairway. And if you're off to the right or to the left, probably the best bet for a player is to just putt back to the center of the fairway, or else you could be losing lots of strokes on folks, and nobody wants that. I think by this time in the entire competition, ladies have figured out if they're not pretty much right on their line in the middle of the fairway, they've got to take a stroke to do that. And now, this card playing so strong, I think everybody's in a pretty good position going into such a tough hole.
Accuracy paramount here the rest of the way at the Fort, and you said it, almost nowhere place more important than here's back-to-back par 4s, holes 4 and 5.
And Missy got a good late tree kicked back to the center of the fairway there, so she'll be happy with that positioning. Vanessa also keeping it low, and look at this.
Great shot
Threads
here.
that line.
I believe,
wow, that's...
I believe the marker there you see is 325 feet to the landing zone. Nice shot there from Vanessa.
Sheer determination on that camera shot. I love looking at the face of Ella Hansen as she releases this one. Leaked a little bit right, but again, something about these trees is in a good mood today, kicking her right back to the center of the fairway.
She should be able to attack the corner from there. Here we see Alexis's drive.
Wow, this card is all for incredible positioning in the middle. Everybody's got a chance to continue to attack around this corner. That's pretty awesome.
Ella leaning into it and, again, pushing right, but then somewhat of a fortunate kick. Not getting the distance she wanted, though. See Alexis. Oh,
yeah.
Once again, hole 4 favoring the players so far.
Absolutely. Rare behavior for this aggressive and kind of, like I said earlier, just naughty type of a fairway.
And we spoke maybe too soon, but again, a little corkscrew roll to better footing at least, but Gannon also catches a tree.
Oh, the position there for Vanessa, even though she catches trees there, was in the ideal place to get herself up there. And just caught a little bit of trouble there, but this is a par 4, folks, so no damage so far. Ella for her 3rd shot, right up the middle. She lands pretty good there, inside of the circle.
She'll have a putt from there for sure. Vanessa, again, finds a guardian tree there at the edge of the green. She'll have a little work to do. Missy looking to put it close.
With a powerful putt there.
Oh, she wanted that one in. Great bid from Missy there.
And I love this play. Oh, I really do love it when a player has a chance to kind of hang it up high and let the putter hyzer around an obstacle like that tree. Almost making that one for Alexis. Solid.
Nice par
Beautiful.
there. Again, had that mistake on the 2nd shot, but recovered, and Vanessa's in for her par.
And this will be for Ella's par as well. Confidence, no problem. That stroke looked very comfortable, and that par is a very, very important one. If a player has got themselves in position on this fairway, it is oh so important to cash in on that par. These ladies are making short work of hole 4, even with a little bit of trouble.
We were fortunate enough to film a few of Ella's rounds, 3, I believe. Go check those out on OTB TV's coverage. But she was very good from circle 1 throughout the week. Here we are, off to hole 5. It's another par 4. Played as the 14th most difficult, 450 feet. Played just a shade under par.
This fairway, as you can see, there's a lot of similarities to hole 4, the prior hole, and it's just a little more tightly wooded off of the tee box. And then I would say like the last 3/4 of the green might open up just a tad more than hole 4, but just as tricky. I think there's even a little sharper of a left-hand turn, and as you can see, down trees and even a Mando tree that Missy makes it past right there. Certainly not sitting in a spot that she loves, but is up the fairway past the Mando safely. Vanessa,
240 feet to the landing zone. And Vanessa, I believe, has put it right where she wants it, and we actually see catching up to the next group ahead of us.
That was one of the best drives I've seen. Beautiful by Vanessa Van Dyken.
Yeah, you can't trust the bullseye on this one, Zoe. It won't help you.
Absolutely not. What a tricky trick.
And that's a kick that'll help her because she was about to be pinched up against that mandatory tree.
It's like the trees at the fort are they're kind of cued in that this is the World Championships final day, and they're just not being as mean to the players. They're actually giving a little bit of love. It's a nice forehand. Just catches a little bit of the base of that tree. I believe she's at circle's edge there, though, so giving her a chance. Now, Missy is definitely in an obstructed and a tough footing zone there, so she was just trying to get back into the fairway safely. And you can see Vanessa lining up
what a great drive.
putter shot. Wow.
And she's parked.
Yes, that's what we like to see. And as you can see, Missy is back on the fairway safely, giving herself a little forehand approach. Needs to be under the basket and is certainly in Missy's range there.
Great upshot there from Gannon. She'll be in position for her par. Oh, Ella catches that late tree, knocks down the approach shot. We do have water behind the basket. Comes into play here a little bit more than hole 4, but not for Hansen here.
Plenty of power, and she's under the bucket.
Alexis with the 2 bid. Bang.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's a great putt. I mean, if that's me, I'm a little bit more, I guess you could say, I've got a lot of personality, and I get really excited over a putt at that distance. Ain't no thing for Alexis.
Calmly walks it down. Coolly collected from Mandujano.
This is an important putt for Missy. She's taking her time, filling out her full routine. And even though it's high, she's making it. She wants to be done with hole 5 forever, or at least for the rest of this year. She's walking away. Good putt.
You don't have to play it anymore, Missy. Not this year, anyways. Good par there. Vanessa lines up her birdie. And cashes in. That's 3 out of the 5 for the first 5 holes for Vanessa.
What a start for Van Dyken. I mean, these ladies are actually playing all the way through hole 5. I would say better than most FPO cards all the way through the weekend. Pretty impressive shots and ways to deal with any kind of scrambling and making some clutch putts.
If I'm not mistaken, that had jumped Van Dyken into the top 10, and she was sniffing the top 5 at this point of the day. Here we are, going to hole 6, back to a par 3, and as we've discussed before, lots of avenues to the basket, but none of them necessarily fill you with confidence, Zoe.
That's absolutely correct. We saw players taking the high Annie line or forehand straight through the middle, trying to weave trees, and even a kind of a low skippy hyzer on the right-hand side. So everybody's got their own method off of this tee pad. Just a matter of who can hit the airspace through the trees. Ooh, this is looking good off the tee pad for Van Dyken. Will she weave through?
So many trees to contend with once you are over top of that sort of bushy tree you see off the tee pad if you play that Annie line. But again, there's trees every way you go.
Wow, that was a fantastic pull there for Alexis.
She threaded the needle.
Kept it low enough, yeah, and was able to make her way to circle's edge.
We've seen Missy attack this right side throughout the week. And she does the same here and actually pushes all the way up that road. Got a couple smooth skips, so she'll be just outside of circle 2.
And Ella's taking that slower speed up high, looking to weave and she gets a lot more right-hand action than she really thought, and then it's taken down. But I think she has a semi-clear look to the basket there. She's
in circle 2, and with that, again, favorable roll, ground action, she'll have a long bid.
What a crazy rollaway there from a tree hit for Vanessa.
Oh, and there we see this cluster of trees, which has come into play several times throughout the week. Missy navigates around it.
Yeah, everything she could do there.
Ooh,
I knew it.
Cage
she
hit.
Had a bid.
Nice attempt there from Ella. Let's see if Alexis can cash in for 2. CTP, and it's just left. Again, need a little bit more chain on that one.
Kind of a tough stance here for Van Dyken's par, but no problem. She's all over that basket inside of the green. She is confident.
Stretches out.
Makes her par.
Uses that window created by the trees. Put it right down the middle. And our players will tap out and climb the hill for our first elevated tee of the round. The fort making great use of the terrain here. Lots of elevation change, left to rights, dog legs, a lot of variety. Here's hole 7. Played as the 9th most difficult, 345 feet.
And it's 345 feet with that elevation drop. This is definitely a hole that the entire field can get to. There's just not a lot of airspace, as the common theme would be at the fort. You can see that down log, only just a couple of feet from the basket, protecting it. So very, very obstructed green. Players have to take the right side fairway to get all the way down there and hope for a little ground action to get under it. Oh, I like the look of that one.
Yeah, I think, again, both Vanessa and Alexis have caught trees off of the tee, which kicked them a little more left maybe, but they might be able to work from there.
Ella, so hard to tell.
Finding the right-hand side. Skipping clean. And all the way up to that log feature, which protects the front side of the green. She'll have a look for 2.
It'll be an interesting look, but a look no doubt. And see, from there, Vanessa just had to play the low line underneath that log, just hoping to get close to the basket. She really had no shot at it. Missy kind of semi-attempted, but safe bidded it. Again, there's water in the background, so still have to be pretty careful about how your shot's going to land.
Oh, and Alexis actually gets wedged under that log.
Crazy.
Again, we got to watch out for the water here. And it gets down just in time for Vanessa.
Ella's going to have to go up and over, elevator putt this. Not quite the height she had, but she really couldn't even see the chains or the cage of the basket. She would have just kind of, been hoping a little bit, and it was a tough putt.
It's amazing. This gigantic fallen tree really creates problems around the green. Vanessa cleaning up. We'll see the rest of the card clean up here, and we are off to hole 8, which which is no easy task in itself, with no mandos, but some natural windows that you really have to navigate through. You got this Y-shaped tree. Then once you exit this more heavily wooded portion of the hole, you see this protective wall, which has come into play a few times, and an elevated basket. So again, it's a tall task here. Test the forehand or the any distance of these right-hand, backhand players.
And it's not just enough to get through that gap. Players absolutely need to be mindful that off to the left-hand side, the fairway is lined with out of bounds. So if they do make it through, they need to land either straight or hyzering or finishing towards the basket in order to stay away from trouble.
You are correct. Separating off the fairway of hole 7, you've got that OB line. Missy pushes right in, again, a friendly skip out, but not where she'd love to be.
Ella Hansen here, choosing a slower speed. I think that's one of her mid-ranges off the tee. Just getting out. Pretty powerful shot. Caught a little bit of trees, but she's up there just at or outside of circle 2.
For sure. Great drive there from Ella, reaching the end of that barrier wall. All of our players electing to go backhand so far. Ooh, early tree for Vanessa there.
Tough place to find herself off the tee. Obstructed stance and still so many trees in front of her. And you can see she got kind of clipped down early there, but she's in the open for another shot.
So yeah, some of that early tree love. Flipping the script here on hole 8 as Alexis advances up to near circle 1. She'll have an obscured putt. And Vanessa finds herself in the bunker.
Looking a little frazzled there. Came out, held on to it a little too long. Missy with the upshot running those chains, but landing at circle's edge, no doubt. And this looks pretty hairy here for Vanessa, trying to get out with like an Annie forehand. No. I mean, it does look similar to like a jailhouse door in front of you. That's a tough place to get out of.
She'll look for the Annie bid to escape trouble here. Again, tricky hole, deceptively simple, but so many elements here that make life difficult at the fort.
You can see Ella just barely tall enough to possibly see the band over this fence, but that was for her 2. She's in great shape. Wasn't really giving that one a super solid run. Just trying to play clean on this and take her par.
And Alexis skipped to a clean alleyway, but again, elevated basket, circle 1 edge putt. Here we see Missy lining hers up.
Beautiful.
Great putt there
Again,
from Gannon.
Really, really important timing to, if you get yourself that opportunity at the fort and you are on the green, it is a must at the World Championships to close the deal with those putts.
Putting certainly what separates the wheat from the chaff here on day 5.
And for Vanessa's 5, I like how she's taking her time, building her confidence stroke. That is so important to make sure she is getting that 5 and not turning it into a 6. Although disappointed, players have to quickly collect themselves to make those putts.
Yeah, mentally this has got to be challenging for Van Dyken. She started off 3 down. In the last 2 holes, she's put 4 strokes back on the board. She'll want to finish strong here on hole 9. Ella collects her par. Let's go check it out. GK Pro, thanks again for the flyovers. Go check out their channel. They're doing great work. We love them supporting us and helping with OTB Skins Match Series. Check out all the great content they produce at GK Pro. Now this is a big one. We've called it a 2 holes in 1 before, Zoe. Par 5, 728 feet, a birdie rate of 11% here on the final day of the World Championships. Talk us through it.
And that doesn't surprise me. 11% birdie rate actually is even higher than what I would have guessed. This is such a tough par 5. Players have to choose how they're going to break it down and attack. And everybody has a little bit different of a method. Again, there's out of bounds left off the tee. People need to stay straight or even leak right, depending on whatever kind of drive they throw. Missy, taking one of her more understable distance drivers and getting that right-hand action, she should be in a decent position.
387 feet up to the landing zone, past the Mando corner. And Ella keeps it in the middle of the fairway. A little low there.
She's probably disappointed with the distance, but she's also in very attackable shape. And that drive looked fantastic at first, and then it actually ended up not holding for her the whole way. So she's a little pinched off by that left side fence. It's going to make her second shot very difficult, probably just getting her into position. Awesome. Oh, I think Vanessa made it around all of that. She does.
Stays clean.
You can see she did not like what just happened on hole 8's green. She's coming out hot from that tee box, and that was a great shot.
Certainly what you have to do when things don't go your way is bounce back here and put it behind you. Ella, nice advancement there around that Mando.
Players, that's all they want is to be around that Mando tree corner in the second shot if possible. Missy gets way up there. What an awesome first couple of shots on this hole for Missy Gannon. Impressive distance for her second shot.
I was in the catch cam position there, and I'll tell you what, I was a little surprised to see that come screaming in. It was a great shot from Missy. As we saw there, Alexis using the roller to get into position past that Mando.
And I will say, those little flap down sidearm rollers aren't easy. You've got to have good control and know which disc to do it with. That was a good shot for Alexis, and she's now back into good shape to attack.
Definitely, this is one of the more difficult surfaces to trust your roller on. Back here in the woods, very soft and pulpy ground that the players had to deal with.
So now Ella's got a little bit of foliage on the corner to obstruct her shot, but she's going to try to pull off a turnover and get all the way up to the basket. Hopefully it's kind of low.
Well,
she gets a little ground action, though.
And she'll actually push up to this left side fairway. There are two options to attack this mound, and the left side's honestly the more open one, so she'll be able to attack from there.
Wow, for Missy's third shot, not many players are up this far for that attempt. Sure takes some of the pressure off. Still have to lace a line.
Flexing forehand.
Yep.
And she's just on the other side of the mound. Probably reach circle 2, but it'll be a tough bid from there.
Yeah, I think that mound is completely in her way, but still only 3 shots to get there. Turnover, approach here. I think she got a little trampoline kick off that branch or something, but outside of the circle, no doubt for Vanessa. Alexis lining up a powerful putt to get herself next to the basket.
Nice.
Does a good job there.
Had a chance to go in there for Alexis from about 100 feet. Here we see Ella. She'll have to put a little Annie on this, most likely.
Just needed a little more height on that.
See how difficult that hill makes things around the green.
Oh, tough stance and tough window there for Vanessa. I was afraid that she was going to be behind those trees, and she certainly was, just giving it a layup.
Smart play there. She'll be able to collect her par.
I like this camera view for Missy's bid. You guys can see the mound was entirely in the way for her putt, and she'll be under the basket for a tap-in. Oh, just left side chain out there for Ella's par.
See a good example of these baskets really want you to be true with your stroke. Center chains. Can't let your guard down here at the fort.
Absolutely not. And as these players tap in their final strokes for the first half of this final round at the World Championships, the pressure is building. I mean, normally right after you get started in a tournament round, you get a little bit looser, a little bit freer, but that is not the case here at the World Championships. Every one of these players, every stroke matters for where they will place, what they will cash. It's just so much. The pressure is building. So please come back and join us for the second half of this final round chase card.
Wrapping up our scoring here, we had Alexis even on the front nine, Ella at +1, Missy at -3 with the hot start, and Vanessa, after that series of hiccups, ends up at +1. Zoe, thanks so much for joining me for the front nine. How do you feel about maybe watching a little more disc golf after this?
I'm excited. I mean, this is the final round of the World Championships. Please come back and join us. Let's get into the action for these players. I think we're going to see some really cool stuff in the second half.
That's right. Tune back in for the big finish on day 5 of the World Championships. You're watching OTB TV.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.